As I said before I was rudely interrupted, I stood with my community throughout. I raised our concerns with my colleagues in the government. Let's contrast that with the PC record. From 2005 to the start of the election in 2011, they were completely silent. Members of my community, many of them lifelong conservatives, themselves reached out to the party and its leader. They asked the PC party to take a position on the plant. The response from the PC party was deafening silence. For 6 years, they ignored the people of Mississauga. Then came the 2011 election campaign. Concerns were mounting, and the people were asking where the candidates stood on the issue. As their local candidate, my position was unchanged. I was opposed to any new emitters being built in our airshed from the very beginning. I had stood in this House to speak against increased emissions in Lakeview, Clarkson, Oakville, and Sherway. The PC's position was also unchanged. They ignored the community and refused to speak up. The community felt so strongly about the issue that they held a public rally on September 15th. The community felt so strongly they asked all local candidates, including the members from Etobicoke, to attend. And as the incumbent MPP and as candidate asking for the renewed confidence of my neighbours, and as a resident, I felt it was my duty to attend. And my colleagues from Etobicoke attended as well. And I told the people there what I had been saying all along, that I opposed any new emitters being built in our sensitive airshed. I was concerned about the cumulative impact of further emissions. I was concerned about the point of impingement on neighbouring regions and the effect it would have on future generations, irrespective of election cycles. And up until now, the PCs have been completely AWOL on the issue. Now was their chance to finally look community members in the eye and tell them where they stand. But they didn't. Not only did they not speak up, they didn't even respect the community enough to show up. Later in the campaign, the Ontario Liberal Party made a commitment that if re-elected, the government would relocate the Mississauga facility to another location. The community was ecstatic. After years of hard work, one of the parties had clearly been listening and taken their concerns seriously. But the question remained, where do the other two parties stand? The Hudak PCs and the NDP decided to play Johnny-come-lately. They responded to our announcement by saying that they too would make the same commitment. The Globe and Mail cites Mr. Hudak, "We've opposed these projects in Oakville and Mississauga." Having finally been awoken to this issue, my PC opponent even went further when he told the Mississauga News this: "Only Conservative leader Tim Hudak will cancel the Eastern Power gas plant slated to be built on Lowland Avenue." The leader of the opposition came to Mississauga with a bus and a big pink elephant to talk about how they would cancel the power plant. They would cancel the power plant, not relocate it. The implications would have been severe. Then they robocalled the people of Sherway to tell them this, that only the Hudak PCs would cancel the power plant. They were asking the people of Mississauga to vote for them so that they could cancel the power plant themselves. This twisting and churning by the PC party was clearly seen in the community for what it was: last-ditch attempt, do anything, say anything to try to win a seat. Worst kind of political pandering to try to win votes. And after 6 years and a half of an election campaign of silence, the people of Mississauga were not fooled by this sudden conversion. And shortly after being re-elected, our government announced the relocation of the Mississauga facility as promised. We listened to the community. Following through on the commitment made by all three parties, OPA and the proponent reached a deal to relocate the plant. Now let's remember, the PCs tried to put a power plant in Clarkson. Then they were silent on it. The PCs had no position on Sherway plant for 6 years. Then they said they would cancel the plant if had the chance. Now the PCs oppose the government's decision. Remember, this was a commitment that all three parties made to the people of Mississauga. So I challenge the PC party to speak directly to the people of Mississauga. Where do you actually stand on this? You did nothing for 6 years, then halfway through an election you decided you were against it. Now you don't want to cancel it. What will happen during the next election, Mr. Speaker? I think the people of my community have a right to know. They've had the right to know ever since 2005. And I'm proud that the people of Mississauga and surrounding areas can rest assured that Lakeview, Clarkson, Sherway, Oakville, Etobicoke will be protected for future generations. It's clear, Mr. Speaker, that the PCs aren't interested, however, in talking about the environment or our health. This is really about the politics of constant conflict. This is the same regressive crew that referred to new Canadians as unwelcome foreigners in the 2011 election campaign.
All right.
But during that campaign, when they were making promises about cancelling the power plant, they were spreading literature of other sorts. This is the same party that opposed the budget in a minority parliament before they even looked at it. It's the same party that's ringing bells and rang bells that blocked legislation for months this spring. They've been playing political games on bills like Accepting Schools Act, the Residential Tenancy Amendment Act, the Family Caregiver Leave, the Ambulance Amendment Act to secure and resolve the issues at Orange, the Strong Action for Ontario Act in the budget, and now this budget motion that's going to stunt. Mr. Speaker, they've rang the bells 45 times over 22 hours of delay. And just yesterday, we were supposed to vote on a bill to help seniors make their homes more accessible. This would allow our seniors to live in their homes for longer, more comfortably. It's not being done. Instead, the PC party is more interested in wasting the legislature's time and the taxpayers' money than they are in working together for Ontarians. The PC party wants us to believe that their motion is about the release of documents. On Monday, the Ministry of Energy and the Ontario Power Authority released 36,000 records requested by the Estimates Committee. The government put each and every document on a USB key and provided one of each of the opposition parties and the clerk some additional items of that UBS key. The request of the committees of these documents
member from Nepean Carleton is getting very close to her last
The matter should be over. We should be standing here today working together, debating legislation to make this province a better place. So why are we debating this contempt motion? This isn't actually about the documents at all, is it? The PC party is attempting to smear the good name of an honourable man. It's shameful. It's disgraceful. The Minister of Energy is a man of integrity. He has served as Attorney General for this province for 4 years.
Stop the clock. Point of order.
Before the Minister of Energy came to this place, he was a respected member of the Ontario Bar of the highest standing and reputation. He's well respected and he's an honourable man. The Minister of Energy has put the public interest before his own, has dealt clearly to reach those initiatives. The Speaker, this is indeed a sad day when members resort to degrading personal attacks like this. After years in the private sector, I chose my civic duty to serve my community. The community does come first. PC should respect this place and engage in civil debate, not hyper-partisan personal attacks. They're playing political games with the man's reputation. I proudly stand in this House and support the principled actions of this minister. The witch hunt the opposition is undertaking is about scoring cheap political points. It's about dragging a good man's name through the mud. It's beneath them. It's beneath all of us. They should do the honourable thing and withdraw this reprehensible motion. And to my colleagues in the NDP, I know you are women and men of good conscience. I know you entered politics to try to do what's right. The minister has complied with the committee's request and the ruling of the Speaker. He has personally attested to the documents being complete. And as parliamentarians, we are bound to respect that. To proceed with this motion is to call the integrity of every single member in this chamber to question. It will send a message that no member's word is to be trusted. The implications of our democracy are enormous. This is an assault on our traditions of respect and democracies in this very place. We may disagree on policy, we may disagree on priorities, or on how we manage the province's finances. But we can have those discussions without impugning each other's character. This motion belittles all of us, and I urge you not to support it. I ask the opposition members and all of us in this House to reflect on what it is that's being done here. I chose to do my civic duty not to get into political games such as this. We all have a responsibility for the broader public. We all have a responsibility to our neighbours and friends at home. We all have a responsibility to work together, especially now in this minority government. And we can do that. We can do that with respect, and we can do that with collaboration. Not always easy to do. And I don't question your motives, because I believe everybody's intentions are good, regardless of political stripe. But your motion has put into question that integrity. And we were asked...
Time, stop the clock.
I'm asking members of across the way and all of us to reflect on what's being done. I'm asking the member opposite who put forward the motion to withdraw it. I'm asking everybody to reflect on the long-term implications of what this means. The minister, has attested to saying that he's provided all of the information. If you have some blank forms on some UBS key, go downstairs and see the hard copies where they are. Get the info, it's there. What I'm saying is, you're now challenging the word of a man who's been so honorable to us all, and I ask all of you to do the same. The opposition has suggested, from both sides I must say, that we're playing political games for whatever reflection of elections and so forth. I tell those that are watching, this is all about political games on this instance. And I was asked them to stop playing nonsense and get back to work. Thank you.
Hey. The member from Durham.